Okay. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Renee, and I just want to say before I even get started, I know my audio is not the best, okay? This is what I'm working with for now. So, I'm gonna try and figure that out, but hopefully you can still kind of hear and understand the main point of what I'm saying. I'll try and speak louder. Yeah, but just know I'm working on it. So if you're new here, definitely subscribe. And yeah, it's been a while since I've uploaded. Just have had a lot going on all at once. And yeah, so sorry about that. But it's been a learning experience like most things are for me. So what I want to say today is what I've been kind of processing all week. And it's that like change is like scary. And, you know, change can be in a negative context or it can be in a positive context. But what makes change so scary, which to my surprise has been that's been coming up for me, even though I'm experiencing very positive things, I realized that what makes change so scary is that it's kind of destabilizing and you know, it's destabilizing. You're kind of losing your footing for a little bit. Obviously, to go when it's through a positive experience, when things are changing for the better, you're feeling destabilized even though you're moving to somewhere that's better, in life. You know what I mean? Even if that change is going to leave your life in a better place, it can still be really scary and hard to process because you are just experiencing something new. And that's something that's happening for me this week. So I just found it really interesting because basically I got some really good news. And at first, honestly, this is one of my dreams, okay? So one of my literal I've been dreaming about this for at least the past year. That literally is gonna happen soon. And at first, I was jumping up and down with excitement. I was so excited, I couldn't even sleep. I couldn't even sleep. That's how excited I was. And then, to my surprise, I started to feel so nervous and scared. And, I just thought it was so interesting because what started first as excitement turned into basically anxiety. And I even noticed it one day I called my cousin, and throughout this entire day, I was feeling basically very nervous and I was just anxious and just in my thoughts overthinking. Even though it's a good thing, I found things to be worrying about and stress about, or so I thought, right? Because I felt anxious. And then I called my cousin to kind of tell her what was going on. And can you believe when I was talking to her, it was just excitement. When I told her what I was thinking and, what had happened, I realized that I was just really excited. I totally forgot about my anxiety when I started actually talking to her. So it was really interesting because on that day, at least, it seemed like what I thought was anxiety was actually excitement. And it just is a reminder that everything is energy and you can decide what it means to you and what role it's going to play in your life. So I thought that was interesting. But more than that, bigger picture is that like you can literally, okay, if you're an ambitious person, if you're a goal oriented person, if you're into self development, which you probably are if you're watching my channel, you have goals, right? You have things you want to accomplish, you have dreams, you have places you want to visit, you have things you want to do while we're here, right? And um, it's just interesting because when you go from just simply wanting those things and dreaming about them to the part where it becomes true, it feels so different that it almost invokes a lot of anxiety. And I think it's because you're feeling unstable, picture an earthquake, you feel the ground underneath you is kind of shaking. But and that's a metaphor, not saying that literally, but that's because you're going to experience something new. Like there's something new coming through for you, especially if you're somebody that believes in like manifestation and stuff. Like that's essentially like what's happening. And as exciting as things can be when they start to, come true, and, if you accomplish a big goal, it's exciting, right? When you get the things that you want. But it can also be like really scary at the same time. And, it almost feels it feels kind of like anxiety, but like in a weird way, it's like a good kind of anxiety because it's just like you're feeling so many different things because in order to get the things that you want, you have to, become the kind of person that can have those things. And that is like literally transforming a part of your identity because now, as opposed to the person who didn't have those things, you're now the person who has those things. And, you're going to change like some parts of your personality to have that thing in your life, if that makes sense. Like you have, like, change is exciting, but it's also like really scary. And the biggest insight for me this week is that even if it's good, even if it's really good, even if it's something you've always wanted, like that can feel almost like scary. And I realized throughout the week that that's normal. And, through talking to my friends who kind of like try to like, get me to feel like less anxious basically as I was telling them what was going on. um, you know it's normal, it's a normal feeling because you're experiencing something different, you're experiencing something new. So I just thought this was really interesting because like you think of anxiety as something that you get when you're worried about like bad things happening. You associate anxiety with fear. But, there is like this middle ground before you're accomplishing something or reaching a new goal where it can almost kind of like mimic anxiety. And like, in a way, it might be fear, but it's also like mixed with excitement because you're setting the ground for something new to come into your life, basically. And that isn't the most stabilizing feeling. So, just something to watch out for. If you have big goals, okay? If you have big goals, you also need to be ready for the changes that come along when those goals either come true or on your way to accomplishing those goals. Like just be prepared for like other things in your life to change because essentially what's happening is that there's space being created for that new thing in your life. And it's only like logical, but it's also weird when it starts happening that a lot of other things will change and you might not feel as stable as you were before, at least for the time being. And it's funny because the last time that I felt this way was when I moved here, and this was a huge change for me because of this is probably like the nicest place I've ever lived in, and two, like the neighborhood was like a really big like upgrade for me. So even during that time, this was a big change. And I remember feeling like so much anxiety and just like weird feelings that I never felt before and kind of like feeling out of place. And, there was an adjustment period basically because it was a big change for me. But obviously, it was a positive change, and I'm really happy to be here. And a similar thing is happening now. And I just want to like talk about it because it's almost like you think that when you get the things that you want, it's going to be like one, two, three. You're going to just step into that role and things are going to be perfect, la, la, la. But like there is a bit of like an adjustment period, and you're going to be feeling different things, and maybe other things will change in your life. And it's an experience, okay? Like, and you have to, I guess my best advice would be to find ways to make yourself feel grounded during that kind of time, and just like train yourself to now be that person, the future version of yourself, the best version of yourself that has the things that you want. And like for them, that's normal. Like you have to like normalize those things, and that takes time. And it might be a little bit scary too, but that's what it feels like to like really expand and like like accomplish like big things in life, and like in the end feel fulfilled because you just made that happen. Like go girl. So hopefully this message made sense, and my apologies for the audio. Work in progress, okay? Probably have to get a mic and stuff, but for me, like, it's easy to be consistent when things are really easy. So, my headphones and my phone, nothing gets easier than that. And, I feel like if I make it more complicated, maybe I won't be as consistent, but who knows? But anyway, subscribe to my channel. Besos.